Thank you very much for that introduction. It is a pleasure to be here today with all of you. I am Marla Blow. I'm the president of the Skoll Foundation. I am really excited today to kick off the second day of this great gathering and really address and focus in on the opportunity for change and the real call for change. As you've been discussing, the pandemic and the experience of the last year has revealed the glaring inequities, the wide differences and distinctions between communities across the globe. The fault lines, the inequities have been there for long, long periods of time. They're not new. They are newly laid bare. Our ability to look away has been stripped. We can't unsee what we've seen in the last year. Importantly, we've seen this across a whole host of incidents and experiences, from the pandemic itself and the unequal numbers of exposure, the unequal amounts of loss of life across communities, from the police brutality and the loss of life associated with that, and our inability to look away from the pain and loss that that represents, all the way to now the rollout of the vaccine and the opportunity to ensure that the vaccine and the address of this pandemic has the opportunity to be a bit more equal and to reach the needs of the most vulnerable communities along with the needs of the wealthiest and highest access communities at the same time. As we go about looking at how we can ensure that we get as much access and opportunity to be spread as equally as possible, one of the things that has occurred to me is I've been thinking a lot about breathing. And there's a commonality between the pandemic and COVID itself and the impact on our ability to breathe, and the police brutality and the last words of George Floyd, which were in part, "I can't breathe." And the importance of the breath and the importance of taking a breath as we go into the next phase. That commonality among all of us in our shared humanity about something as simple as being able to breathe and feeling comfortable and confident that you will be able to take your next breath all hinges on our ability to drive cooperation, shared commitment, and belief in the possibility of all of the institutions that comprise our society to operate together. And by that, I mean the corporate sector, where we see the real importance of ensuring a stable society in order to build a successful business. And that, I believe, has really brought the corporate sector to life and brought them around to engaging in civic issues that they have traditionally stayed away from and shied away from. The government sector, where the protocols and the establishment of guardrails and the rollout of a healthcare systems across the globe, across a variety of countries, all of which have their own systems and structures. But the importance of that sector to be able to engage in this moment has never been higher. The philanthropic community, which has the opportunity to elevate new voices and empower Black, Latinx, women, LGBT leadership in ways that have never been as opportune as now, is something that we are seeing in this moment, and that is really exciting and provides opportunities for meaningful hope of change. And then the local and civic grassroots actors that can reach on the ground in those hardest to reach communities to ensure access, opportunity, and participation where it is most needed. Because if nothing else has really rallied us around the importance of reaching everyone, it is a virus that does not in and of itself discriminate in any way. And if allowed to run rampant in any part of the population, it is a threat to all parts of the population. That rallying cry, that call to action, that buy-in that we all have the opportunity now to play a role in is what actually gives me hope. It is what makes me believe that we are in a position now to embrace sustainable development goals, to embrace social change, to not look away from some of the hard truths that we've confronted this year and really live into being our better selves in fighting the fight from where you sit. So if you sit in a government seat, or you sit in a corporate seat, you sit in a philanthropic seat, You work in a grassroots local organization. We need you. We need all of you. We need all of us to participate and meet this moment. When I think about examples of where this has worked well, I think about the city of Los Angeles. The mayor's fund in the city of Los Angeles rolled out something called the Angelino card, which allowed that community to provide relief, support to homeless populations that are otherwise very difficult to reach. They've been able to provide them with a form of identification, with a form of with a transaction medium that can be used to access services, with a reusable electronic digital product that allows them to use it as a payment device, to use it as a store of value, and be able to access other social services across the city of Los Angeles. That was a coordinated effort across the government sector, across the civic organizations that can access and engage the homeless populations, and across the corporate sector, which created the product that allows for that form of identification and that product to be in use in the market. Those are the kinds of innovations and coordination that can really drive the difference now. For me, it is illustrative of the fact that in short periods of time, we tend to overestimate what's possible and sometimes get disappointed when it doesn't quite materialize. But over the long term, we underestimate what we can do. The possibility for real change is there. We see it over and over and over again. My own life is a testament to that, that I have gone from my grandmother having been a sharecropper, effectively, picked cotton in Oklahoma, to my mother being the first person in her family to graduate from high school, to me now sitting here today talking with all of you and taking on a leadership role in a major philanthropic organization. It is an example of over the long term, real change is possible, real engagement is possible, and we all have a role to play in ensuring that that change comes about in the way we'd like to see it. So I look forward to seeing all of you engage here today in this second day of the gathering, talking about all of the opportunities that we have, and then harnessing this energy, taking this moment and leaving here and going out and doing your part to ensure that we do not perpetuate the inequalities that we've seen, that we do not perpetuate the vulnerabilities that we face, and that we instead create shared participation, access, and opportunity across the board. Thank you so much. I'm excited to continue the conversation. Have a great day.